The post question and answer detail screen. So the detail of one specific question and its answers from other community members. So at the top we have the subject matter of the question, the photo, and do note that there is a slight, an outside actually, single line, rounded corner border to give this image structure. Most products are going to be white on the background, so it kind of lost its structure here. So I added this 1 pixel border around it to make sure it has structure to the screen. The name of the item that we are doing a question on, and the more capability with when it was the timestamp. Clicking the more goes to the same more screen that we've had before. As you can see, this is a link page. This should have been built within the review capabilities, and we're reusing it throughout the application. The same capabilities are available within a question as there are in a review, whether you own it or whether you are commenting on it or a user that is viewing it. So in the question, we have the same capabilities with media. The media files go underneath the question. Clicking on a media file will then open up the media view area. This is the same exact area that we had from in the reviews area. It is covered in much more greater detail, and if we are building these in order, you should have this already created. As you can see, it's a link since it's yellow, and you should have all this. It's exactly the same content. The only thing that changes is instead of having the content up here, which was a review before, it is now the body of the question. And you can expand to show the full contents of the question and answer content. It's pretty simple. One thing to note is when we're in, and I forgot about this when we were talking about it over in the review area, is if I were to do one of these actions that have a snack bar or a toast notification to it, we will reverse the color. So in a dark screen, we will reverse the color of this toast notification. So I believe this is 700 and it becomes either 200 or 300. Yeah, 200. So the backgrounds just reverse as you would on a dark color. It's just so it shows up and we can see it. I'm afraid that this won't show up very well on a dark background, so we want this to be a little more visible. That should be a universal global capability that we see with all toast notifications. If it's in a dark screen, it shows up with a lighter toast notification. Notice we are commenting on the question here. It is not the answer. So we are liking or upvoting the question. We are bookmarking the question. We are not bookmarking an answer. There is no ability to bookmark the answer. So going back to the detail screen, so this is static content, the question and the answer. This is static and does not change. It gives structure to the page. The user's question then is listed here, up to 250 characters, I believe I said. And then below it, we have the media files. This is exactly the same thing that we had from the reviews area. It's just the content changes slightly, or the subject matter changes slightly. The ability to like or upvote the question to make it float higher within the stack of questions that are out in the main screen. So the highest upvote comes to the top. This would be the highest vote, the second highest vote, outside of questions that haven't been answered. I think that we put questions that have not been answered at the top, and then, or maybe we eventually come to display these and then have a button at the top that says unanswered questions or something as a call to action. But for now, let's put the unanswered questions at the top, and then the questions that have the highest upvotes directly below that. So you have the question answer toolbar. This is exactly the same type of toolbar that we had for the reviews. the upvote, the commenting, the highlighting. If I do put a comment on it, how many comments there are. I guess this is incorrect at this point because there are 3 now. So I'll need to change this in the design. The sharing of the question itself. So this is the toolbar for the question. It is not the toolbar for an answer. It is sharing the question. It is bookmarking the question. It is not the answers that we are bookmarking. Answers are a subcategory of a question. So you can have multiple answers underneath a single question. So then you have the answers, and the answers have the ability to be upvoted so that the best answers come to the top. So we have 2 levels of upvoting. You have the upvoting of a question, and then the upvoting of an answer within that question. So the top answer floats to the top, and it doesn't matter when it was submitted. The top one is the one that goes to the top, and it's the one that gets featured. Now, if we do not have any answers yet, we give this call to action in place of the people in here. This answer that stays there. This will become the call to action. The call to action, if you click on the call to action anywhere in the call to action, it's a big button basically. You will then bring up the answer capability. So it just brings it to the attention of anybody that is looking at this. Do you know? Help the community out and answer it. So, by the way, it is the whole entire thing that is a button. We want that to be large and easy to click. So the answers, I did do a separator in between each one just to make sure that it was clear what the upvote was for. It is for this one, so not to have confusion. Notice the divider goes to the edge here. We're creating that column of information again. And this icon is intentionally over top of this icon. It is very, very intentional, the layout that we have. And this layout is it has not changed from it may have changed slightly for this. I'm not sure. I think I moved it over just a tad bit to accommodate this, or where we have a single option. But we are creating vertical columns of information here. So be very cognizant of that structure. So if I upvote, I get the answer has been liked. The question has been liked if I tap up here. Pretty simple stuff. If I tap, and we have 4 areas, these are larger hit areas, make sure that you get that correct. That will bring up the answer. So now, a lot of this stuff should have already been covered. The media view, the answer, the post, the more capability, even up here to the gallery details and the ability to add photos and videos, that should have all been covered in the reviews area. So if the reviews area hasn't been completed yet, we need to complete that before we get to this. We're reusing a lot of components. We're reusing a lot of the same structure. So I'm trying to make this go as fast as we possibly can by reusing components. That's basically it. It's pretty simple, I think. Hopefully you appreciate this as a developer, that I'm trying to keep this as componentized as possible. That's it.